Washington goes to Carolina and beats Carolina. At home against Seattle on Monday night will be their next game. So two in a row with Washington, beating the Buccaneers, and their head coach, Ron Rivera, joining us on the program. How's morale, Coach?
After winning, it's a lot better, that's for sure.
But when you go into a game like that, what kind of emotions do you have? It's one thing to go on the road. It's another thing to sort of go back home, or you're home away from home. So how do you fight those or deal with those emotions?
Well, one of the things that we talked about going into the week, I told the players, I said, it's going to be an interesting thing. I'm coming back or going back, and, Cam's going to be there as well. I said, so it's going to be interesting. So let me focus on what's interesting. You guys focus in on playing the game. Don't worry about what I say. Don't worry about how I gush about being over there, that whole thing. You guys have to focus on the game. And so we tried to keep it separate. We really did. And quite honestly, Dan, it was good to go back because I got a chance to see a lot of good friends.
What was it like drawing up a game plan to go against Cam?
It's interesting because we were trying to figure out, what are they going to put into the game plan? What are they going to use? How deep can they get into their playbook? Because you look at what they did with their other quarterbacks and you say, okay, this will fit Cam, that won't fit Cam. And then you look at what Cam had done the previous year with New England, and then you try to remember what Cam was doing when he was with us back in the day. So there were a lot of things that, we were trying to kind of figure out. It was tough. It wasn't, but I think what Jack and the defensive staff came up with, I thought was pretty good.
Tougher coming up with a game plan for Cam or the previous week with Tom Brady?
Oh, Tom Brady. He's different. I mean, there's so many things that he can do, and you have to prepare for that. With Cam, you know what he does well, and you really believe that's what they're going to do with him. Now, he has some good weapons, and Christian McCaffrey is as good a weapon as there is in this league, and I think DJ Moore's a guy that, every time he gets the ball, he's an explosive player too.
What were you trying to get Brady to do?
Gosh, the biggest thing was we were trying to connect to his routes, to his receivers, and get him to hold that ball just a touch longer than he's used to. And if we could do that, we felt we had a chance.
I talked to Drew Brees in the first hour, and I said, what's it like when you get older? And he said, well, you know all the answers to the test. But that doesn't mean you can go out and perform when you have all answers to the test. But when you face someone like Brady, is there anything that you could possibly do that he has not seen before?
No, there really isn't. I mean, the biggest thing you try to do is you try to affect him one way or the other, whether it's to get your rush close to him, or it's whether to get close to his receivers, to get him to, to hold it just for a second or get him off his mark. If you can do that, you have a chance.
What do you tell your guys about the taunting rule?
Don't put yourself in the position where the referee's got to make a decision. In other words, just don't do it. I mean, again, if you want to celebrate, that's great. Look to us. Now, we got one last week, and, I'm not a big fan of why it was called, but again, I get it. It's one of those things that, just don't do something that's going to put that referee in that position to make that decision.
Where do you think this came from?
Well, what it came from the fights that had broken out the last couple of seasons that really turned into melees that were quite honestly, what you don't want to see out there. And so when we talked about it, we debated it in the committee was, guys, we don't want guys that are going to come out and do something that's going to create something else to escalate. Okay. And that's really what the whole idea and the idea behind it is. Don't give these guys a chance to have this stuff happen. I mean, we've had some pretty bad stuff where we had Tampa, New Orleans, Chicago. We had the stuff that went on with Denver and the Raiders, and that's why you don't want those things to happen on that field, because we got a great game. We got a good thing going here. And the last thing we want to see is something like that to happen, and then something worse to happen where somebody gets hurt during something like that.
And I wonder, and even at the beginning of the year, I wondered if this was going to be something that could affect the outcome of a playoff game,
yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's the scary thing. That's the truth of the matter. I mean, but honestly, don't do something that's going to, that's going to deter. I assume that's going to take away from the game. We're trying to stop it. We're trying to get guys to understand, hey, hey, you want to celebrate, you want a good time, go do it. Run to the other end zone. Okay. Run to your bench. run to your teammates. But don't turn and look at the other team and point your finger or drop the ball at them in their face. Because that's what we're trying to prevent. We're trying to prevent the next big brawl.
How's your quarterbacking situation?
It's fun. We have a guy that's got a lot of personality. He's got a little bit of swagger right now, feeling pretty good about some of the things that he's done. But he's a guy also that works hard. He competes. He also one of those guys that if you keep yourself close to a game, you feel like you have a chance to win. And I think that's what his teammates are feeling because of who he is.
Best team that you faced this year?
Oh, wow. Gosh. I mean, we played some pretty good teams. I mean, I think Tampa's right up there, even though, they lost to us. They're still a team that you sit there and say, man, there's a good group of guys that just as they start coming together, and if they do like they did last year and they find that part where they get hot,
yeah,
they're going to be scary. I still like Buffalo. They're a team that really, I like the way Kansas City can be explosive. We bottled them up for right into the middle of the third quarter. Then all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes, went crazy against us. There's some pretty formidable teams that we have faced that again, that when they do what they're capable of, that they're pretty doggone good.
What's the best piece of memorabilia you got in the office?
Golly, I got a lot of them. I really do. I've been very fortunate, when you're in the league for 30-something years. See, one of my favorites, I got a photo of my father and my three brothers when we did the USAA commercials. I keep that up there because I lost one of my brothers to pancreatic cancer, and he's in that picture. And it's actually the last picture. All four boys were with my dad.
Oh, that's awesome.
Big deal.
Where's the Super Bowl ring?
I don't have the Super Bowl ring, but I do have over here in the corner. I got the replica trophy they gave us at one of the reunions that we had. It's really kind of cool. I'll bring it in the office that way. If any player sits there and looks at it, I can sit there and reminisce a little bit and tell them, I'm telling you, if we can get one, guys, you'll never forget it.
You had 7.5 sacks in your career. Can you name all the quarterbacks you sacked?
Gosh, probably not. This is a long time ago.
It's only 7.5 sacks, Coach.
I know.
I mean, it's not Reggie White here.
No, because Reggie, believe me, Reggie would have. He'd still be naming them off. I'll be done very quickly. No, but I had. Gosh, yeah.
Did you get a Hall of Famer? Is there like?
Oh yeah, I got a Hall of Famer. In fact, my last NFL sack was Brett Favre, and when I started coaching, Brett was still playing, and so we were on the we were pregame. We're sitting there talking and BSing, and he said something about me. And I said, hey, let me tell you something now. I want you to know you were my last NFL sack. He looked at me and he goes, damn, I was slow then.
That was 92, I think, right?
Yes, it was. It was. Oh, yeah. Dang, I tell you, that's the way to bring those memories back.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Thank you. I'm in my 13th month of recovery. They tell me it's about an 18-month process, maybe 2 years, but I've been good. All of my scans and everything have come up negative. All of my doctor reports have all been positive. So things are going well, knock on wood, and it's been good.
Would you rather the people ask or didn't ask?
I'd rather they ask because I tell you, because every time people talk to me about it, I always make a pitch for people to take care of themselves, self-check, self-report. I was very fortunate. I caught it when I was shaving. I felt a lump in my neck that just didn't feel right. And because of that, I reached out to my doctor. A lot of people, they feel something, they don't reach out. And I tell them, one of the things the doctors told me was because I caught it early and did something about it. And that's what I tell people when they ask.
So you find the lump. Do you call a doctor that day?
I called him the next day. My throat was a little sore, and so he, took a look and said, yeah, you're right. Your throat, maybe it is. So they gave me some medicine. I was going on vacation the next day, but when I got back, it was still there. So then I went and saw him again. He said, let's keep an eye on it for a week. Come back and see me. Nothing changed, and that's when we went and he put the ball in and got it rolling.
Congrats on the wins, Coach. And more importantly, I'm glad you're feeling better. Happy Thanksgiving.
Cool. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Dan. Thank you.
That's Ron Rivera, Washington football team head coach, two-time NFL Coach of the Year.